Welcome to Mayfield Ranch. I'm Gary.
And I'm Katie. And we want to talk to you a little bit today about what it's like to live on a farm, what it's like to own some property, the kind of chores that we're doing, how we spend our time on the weekends.
So we want to show you what you need to prepare yourself for if you have property and animals. Definitely a lot of work, but at the same time it's fulfilling. Stay busy and you get to enjoy peace and quiet in this beautiful property.
Well, not so much peace and quiet, because our goose is always talking.
Well, the goose is, well, he's a different kind of character. Yeah, me and the goose, we go around sometimes.
All right, you guys will stick around and we'll show you what our typical Saturday morning's like. So it's 6 a.m. and some of us have a more difficult time than others getting out of bed. 2 out of 5 of us get up and get ready for our day. 3 of us stay in bed. So while Gary starts feeding the animals, I get the water on and I'm going to fill up Charlie's little wallowing hole here. We've got this out here for hen. So it doesn't take long at all to feed the animals. That's pretty quick. We just give the donkeys some hay, give everybody their food, and then the donkeys get their fly masks on so we can get the day started. Then Gary's just gonna put everything back in our container. This is where we keep all the feed for the animals. So every day we need to give the animals fresh water. We don't scrub out their pools and buckets every day, but we do have to refill them every day. So usually a couple times a week we want to scrub everything out, and we use Dawn dish soap and a scrub brush. I typically just use like a little dollar store scrub brush. Gary likes to use this brush with a handle and get in there and get everything scrubbed out.
Babe, what are you wearing?
I'm wearing my farmer flip-flops.
So I don't know if you guys can see him or not, but there's a little rabbit there. We've got this family of rabbits that's living underneath our container. I don't have the heart to do anything about it, so now we have more animals here on our farm, and we just hope they leave our garden alone. So it looks like Charlie's little wallowing hole is all filled with water. The geese and the ducks also use this to swim in too, in addition to their pools. So we're just going to grab this hose so we can finish cleaning out all the little water buckets. We do have water buckets in Charlie's little pen, in the chicken coop, and then all over the property, just so everyone has access to clean water at all times. Now the geese love these pools and the ducks. They throw a fit if you try to clean out these pools while they're swimming in them. They really want you to leave their water alone. They love the pools, but as soon as the water's all clean, they jump right in. They're so happy. She called me. Lola, move.
You know what I need to do?
What?
I need to make a little door like I do over there.
It's okay, they're only going to be here a couple more weeks. making those with the big sisters.
Well, Lola's on my hose. Do you want to let me have my hose?
You're getting me.
Let's lift this one real quick.
So we definitely switch over to the little dollar store scrub brush when we're cleaning out like the little pink water buckets. It just fits in there a little bit easier. I use that on the bigger buckets too. Gary just finds it easier to use the brush on the pole. Now we put fly masks on our donkeys. We have a couple different kinds. We get this longer one for Mama because she tends to get flies down on her nose. And then we use this other style for the other three. I'm going to link them in the description box below in case you're looking for something for your donkeys. Cora. Mommy have kisses. Oh, love you too. Oh, what a good girl. Now this is not our favorite chicken waterer, but we are using it for the babies just because they're little. It's a little safer. It's so warped though, I can't even get the lid on it. Gary's got to do it. So here's our new little babies. We got 12 baby chicks. And they're all out and about, hanging out with their big sisters during the day. They still go in their own coop at night because we're giving them baby food still. Oh my gosh, you're so cute. So we came back in, someone's still in bed. Gary and I are gonna grab some coffee, take a little break here, and then we will get back outside. So I like to have my coffee in the morning with this perfect keto collagen powder. The cinnamon toast is my favorite. It's so good. So I put that in there with a little sugar-free vanilla syrup and some heavy cream, and it's a pretty good morning treat.
Out. Okay, we're gonna get some coffee in this and head back outside and clean out the goat barn and clean the chicken nest. And then just kind of maybe check out the fence line, make sure everything's secure for the animals. And we're gonna work in the garden, harvest whatever needs to be harvested and pull some weeds. There's plenty of weeds. We'll take you with us.
So the last little baby finally decided to get out of bed. Loki boy. Loki boy. Oh, you want to love too, oh, Moby? Yeah, you little Moby. Big old beast, you. Such a big boy. Yeah, you're a big boy. Yeah, Rick is a big boy. The goose really loves his worms, so he likes to defend his little space so he gets as many worms as possible. So I'm going to get going out here in the garden. I've got some weeds to pull while Gary is going to be cleaning out the goat barn and the chicken coop.
Hey guys, so it's about 10 o'clock now on Saturday morning and we're done with the animals. I'm gonna tackle the weeds out here that I need to deal with. So on the garden tours, I've showed you a couple times, the weeds are kind of taking over out here. So let me show you what this looks like. I'm gonna start pulling these weeds and see if I can make any progress here.
So pretty much anytime I'm out in this back animal garden, I have buddies. The donkeys are behind me, hoping they can get a snack. And then the goats and Charlie, and even sometimes the chickens will come up to this front gate here and try to get themselves a snack as well. And of course that tactic usually works out pretty well for them. They get a lot of snacks. So while I'm out working in the garden, pulling some weeds, Gary has been working on cleaning out the goat barn. And while we're doing that, we're taking advantage and we're gonna just start a new compost pile so we can work on getting our own compost for the garden. So we're starting that in this area back here where the donkeys typically have access to. We're actually gonna fence it off just so that nobody has access to it. But for now, we're just starting our compost pile right back here. So we use pine shavings as bedding for the goats. So we put that all in the bottom of their little goat barn right here. And then when we clean it out, we just take out their poo and the bedding and everything all together. And we're using that to start the compost pile. Now on this barn, when we built this barn, Gary put 2 doors on it. Typically this one door is shut. It provides a little bit of shade. Sometimes Charlie and the goats go in here and just kind of lay in the day, get some shade. But when we clean it out, we open both of them. It makes it just a little bit easier to clean out. So our donkey, Cora, loves the neighbor animals. She's always trying to make friends with the cattle on one side. There's a horse on the other side. Sometimes she'll like hug the horse with her neck. She's such a friendly little donkey. So she's over here making friends with him. I don't know if you guys can kind of see, she'll try to like nibble him a little bit through the fence. She's doing that here. She's so cute, but she loves to just stand by the neighbor animals and make friends with them. She's such a sweet little girl. She's the best little donkey. Between cleaning out the donkey barn, the goat barn, and the chicken coop, we're getting quite a little pile going here, and I'm just hosing it off so it's kind of wet down. And while we're doing that, Gary decided to take a little walk. So we put a lot of fly masks on the donkeys. So he's walking the fence line just to check it, and as he goes, he's collecting all the masks. So he picked up 8 fly masks while he was walking around. They tend to take them off of each other, so we have spares. So I'm still just working out here pulling weeds in the garden, and the donkeys are out here enjoying the fruits of my labor.
Hey guys, okay, let me show you what I've got done so far. It's not perfect, but it's pretty good. It's better than it was at least. And the wasps are coming out here, so I want to get out of here. I also accidentally pulled up one of my cucumber plants when I'm trying to pull up the weeds, so I don't want to do that anymore. I did the best I could. Let me show you what it looks like.
So as I was pulling those weeds, I picked a few cucumbers.
I'm just going to use a little bit of twine. I'm going to help this cantaloupe just climb up here. See how it does. I tried to use its tendrils to get it to stay last night, but it came off. So I'm just going to help it out with a little bit of twine, and it'll stay put where I want it, so that it'll grow up this trellis. I don't mind a little bit if some of it's on the ground, but it's much easier to harvest if it's up here on this trellis. It's also out of the way. Gary has to weed eat out here. So it's a little easier if the plants aren't growing on the ground, and he can just go through and weed eat. But that's it. We've got some baby melons already started. I'm going to go ahead and tie up some of the ones that have already started to grow on the ground and just get those up here and out of the way. I'm going to give it a little bit of twine for support. It reaches, but I don't want to break the plant. It's good and healthy, so just want to give it a little extra support. Okay, so this spaghetti squash is growing over here to the tomatoes. I expect these tomatoes are going to actually grow up over this trellis. So I want to actually scoot this over and let him kind of come this way, long ways, and utilize this space here and save some space for my tomatoes. So I'm just going to gently move him over and encourage him to grow this way. And he's already got some tendrils, so I'm just going to use those to wrap him around, and that'll actually secure it where I want it. The spaghetti squash grows so quickly and seems to do really well for us out here. Perfect. So now he's going the other way. We've got this guy. I'm just going to try to encourage him to grow on top. There we go. Here's another guy. It's kind of growing over. I'm just going to spin him around the twine that I already have here. It's not quite tall enough to reach up to the top, but he's almost there.
Now while I'm finishing up here in the garden, just kind of getting this up on the trellis, Gary has a solar light to put back up. It looks like it came off the fence. So let me take you over there and show you what he's up to. So we're getting just about ready to go in. I'm going to get this hose on this tree so we can get that watered. But it's afternoon. It's getting kind of hot out here. We are definitely ready to get in the house, and we'll come back out once it's a little cooler. Thanks you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed hanging out with Gary and I and getting a little glimpse into what a typical Saturday morning looks like for us and our animals. If you're interested in getting a homestead and you have any questions, leave them down in the comments. We'd be happy to tell you from our experience what things are like. See you next week.